let us get this thing started. So what's up, everybody? What's up, world? What's up, podcast listeners and our VIPs? Thank you so much for tuning in to the recording of episode 3. Episode 3 of the Real Travelpreneurs Podcast. Our special guest today is the wonderful, the magnificent, the beautiful Miss Pamela Pacheco, coming in live from sunny Florida. That's where I wish I am right now, because right now I'm in New York. It's rainy, it's gloomy. But right now, everything is lit up because we have the queen on the line. Now, I could sit here and say so many amazing things about Pam, and now she's killing it in this game of life and impacting so many people, traveling around the world, having great peak life experiences. But I'll let her tell us a little bit about who she is. So before we even get into your career, traveling, and all the amazing things you've been accomplishing, we're going to go a little personal to start it off, Pam, all right? We just want to get to know you. So tell us about yourself, about where you're from, your family, where you reside, and all those amazing things about you.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. It is absolute honor, pleasure, and just a privilege to be here. I am beyond grateful to just be here with you guys today. So glory to God that we're just alive in a time like this, right? We're living truly in unprecedented times, and I'm just grateful, man. I'm humbled and honored to be here. Again, shout out to you, gorgeous. Your energy is out of this world. I wouldn't want to be on a podcast with anybody else. So humbly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you, Libra gang, right?
Libra gang.
Yes. So a little bit about myself, because if I definitely don't want to make this about myself, but I know you're interviewing me today, right? But a little bit about myself. I come from a single parent household. My mom is my world. We grew up very humble beginnings. I'm from the Dominican Republic. Huepa to all my Dominicanos. Shout out to everybody around the world. But we came from Dominican Republic to the Bronx, New York when I was very, very young. And from the Bronx, New York, we moved to sunny South Florida, where I am a true Floridian. I love sun. I definitely am like a mermaid in my past life or something, because I love the beach for sure. And I grew up in very humble beginnings. Like, my mom was a single mom and always took care of us. She comes from an attorney background, but always had 2-3 jobs on top of it. And I've always seen her do different hustles and things like that. And I was a little girl that always wanted to help out. I always wanted to contribute. And I understood the value of money from a very, very young age, because I saw my mom work so hard. And even though we probably didn't have everything materialistic growing up, I thank God, because we never missed having love. We never missed having the love from a mom, the love from people and family. It was such an important foundation. And my mom was the woman that she made sure we had a relationship with God. And whether I understood it or not, she was like, "You're going to church." And I remember my sister and I used to always be like, "Okay, it's time to hurry up. Mama's coming." And we were cleaning up really, really fast and hurry up. You got to be ready, right, when she gets off of work. And I didn't really understand what it was, but I thank God every day for it, because it's today one of the strongest pillars, if not the strongest pillar and the strongest foundation of my life. Without him, I am nothing. So all glory be to God. Praises to Jesus Christ, the Most High. And I'm just excited to be here. I was that girl that, because I saw my mom always work, I wanted to get my own money from a very young age. So, we're Dominican, so we always had parties, right? And I was the one that's like, "Hey, no, we're going to recycle," right? And I used to recycle the cans and the bottles to go take it to the supermarket the next day. I remember one of my youngest memories, I was maybe 7, 8 years old and I used to go downstairs when we used to live in the Bronx, and I used to go take the cans, right? And I would tell my grandma, "Come with me, because if not, I can't go by myself. Mom's not going to let me go." Just to get $1, right? Just to get something to contribute. I was the girl that when we moved to Florida, I saw people selling candy, or I would go get candy bars from the dollar store and resell them in school. Probably wasn't supposed to do that, right? And as I got older, my mom was like, look, you got to have good grades, because if I didn't, I was going to get whooped, like literally, right? I have an older sister. She was okay not to get the greatest grades. I still don't understand why, right? But I understood that, and I used to like hustle my siblings out of their chores so that I can pretty much have more money, because I just wanted the nicer things in life, but I didn't want to bother my mom for it. And I remember my grandma, my aunt used to take me with them to like garage sales, and I would like buy stuff at garage sales and like resell it, right? And I'm just kind of taking
Wow.
you through my journey, but I always thought that, having a strong education was really important. Even though my mom and my dad split up at a very young age, my dad is a doctor and my mom's an attorney. So it was like very high bar. And I was like, well, I'm going to be an attorney like my mom, and somebody got to follow her footsteps. And I was the girl that was in every extracurricular activity in school, because I'm like, I got to have them pay for my school. There's no way my mom's going to be able to afford it. And I was the girl that was in JROTC, and my love for the military came from, my entire family, pretty much on my mom and my dad's side. Either they were professionals or they were in the military. Both of my grandfathers, may they rest in peace, are retired generals in the military. So I went from JROTC, being the girl that graduated school with over 7,000 community service hours, because I was literally in every club you could imagine, to, being that was the only one in my entire county that got nominated to go to West Point Military Academy. I was young, dumb, and in love, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to stay right here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, right? But everything happens for a reason. So I ended up still doing ROTC, and I was in the National Guard for a little bit, and it was cool. I enjoyed it because they were just paying for school. And then soon when it was like, okay, well, this part of it, you got to go overseas, I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. My older sister was active Army, and I saw all the stuff she was going through. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And as I was graduating college, instead of going to law school, I had like a double major and minor in school. Instead of going to law school, I ended up transitioning into banking, and I was working in insurance, and I loved it. I just got like overwhelmed with the duties. I had gotten into a really bad car accident, and I missed my LSAT date. So they were like really sticklers for that at that time. And I was just like, well, how can I make the most of it? And my boss, I was like 21, and he was like, well, you're going to run these two offices for me in insurance. And I remember just being at a place that I was just like, I'm kind of over this. And I took a pay cut when I went into banking, but I loved it. And I kind of worked my way up. I went from being a personal banker that got all of these licenses from like, my Series 6, 63 to 15, all of these things, to becoming a business banker and then commercial banking. And I just always loved helping people. Like I found myself like having a passion for helping people. So sometimes I was going to get in trouble for returning too many overdraft fees that I shouldn't have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I was getting yelled at for approving some loans I probably shouldn't have, or telling my customers like, hey, do this so you could get approved, or
Man, I need you as my banker. So many times in my life, I'm like, I needed a Pam as my banker.
So that really is in a nutshell. I've just always had a love for people. And I remember when I started first serving at my mom's church, we grew up Catholic and we transitioned to like Episcopalians. And she was like, well, I need you to go serve in church. And I'm like, what? And I started serving in church, and I was an acolyte. And then I went to becoming, from not liking it to loving children and becoming like the big sister, big mentor, and then becoming the head acolyte. And then I found myself being the youth minister in our church. And I was just at a place that I just like needed more. And I loved helping kids and helping people. And that's kind of what, in a nutshell. And been an entrepreneur for almost 7 years, but I think that I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid.
You
right?
definitely have. You definitely have.
But man, just God is definitely so amazing, and just allowing every day to just be better and to continue to get better in every area of life. I love expanding my mind. I love reading. I love cooking. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love dancing again, serving God, serving people, and just having fun. I love to travel, and I just love helping people find that greatness within them, right? Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, I love being able to, help everybody find their God-given gifts, know that you're so purposeful, right? Everybody has such an amazing gift and such an amazing purpose, and I believe God didn't create anybody to be mediocre. And definitely one of my purposes in life is to help people recognize their just God-given greatness, and not taking any credit for it at all, right? Giving it all the glory to him. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. That is a little bit about me.
That was a lot about you, but a lot of amazing, amazing things about you. You are such a well-rounded person from you just have so many skills and experiences from all aspects of life, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. And I could really relate with a lot of the things that you said. You grew up on love. My family's definitely big on that. Family grew me and my siblings up in the church, and it was about all these extracurricular activities. Like my mom put us in swimming, she put us in ice skating, we did roller blading, basketball, all these band at school, the school play. Like it was so many things, but it was just so we can find what we love and just experience different things. So I think that's really, really, really awesome.
Okay.
Now, going back to saying, your family grew you up on love, I think that's really, really powerful, because love, when applied appropriately, is a powerful thing, and it's a beautiful
Absolutely.
thing. So how would you say that upbringing in love has shaped who you are and how you interact with people?
It definitely it allows me to live in love. And a lot of times it's like my mom always says, like, it's easy to love people when they're lovable, but how do you love people when they're unlovable, right? When they're not lovable at the moment. And it's something that obviously, like, I'm still growing, I'm getting better at it, but self-love, but also knowing that it's like God gives us grace all the time, and extend grace to other people too. So it's allowed me to see things from a different perspective. And I'm the type of person that it's like, not that I'm just like, I forgive easily, but I do, because I'm just like, forgive them for they know not what they do type of deal. But it allows me to just see things from a different perspective. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, I don't get mad, nothing bothers me, because, like, I'm human, right? But really being able to just be like, listen, man, like, God is love, right? And when we really we understand that, like, love is really everything. And one of the things that is like, for me, it's like, love obsessively, value everyone. That is something that has been instilled in my heart. Like, that's for me what love means. Like, LOVE is like, love obsessively and value everyone, because
Ooh, I like that.
like, everybody deserves to feel that, genuinely. Like, a lot of times it's like, sometimes you do get hurt, because it's like, when you love, love. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, I love love. So it's like, when it's not reciprocated or something, and it's like, it has allowed me to still love harder, right? Because I understand that it's like, not everybody is going to be able to love the same way, and that sometimes pain changes you, right? Sometimes pain can be a prison, or it can fuel your passion and fuel your purpose. And I've had to overcome different things that have allowed me to be like, okay, I'm gonna use this pain as a passion. I'm gonna use this pain to infuse my passion and grow me. I'm not gonna let it, imprison me. I'm gonna let this make me a victor, not from a victim mentality or position. So I feel like having that love is really what has, allowed me to have that mindset and continuously, like, love God, love people, right? And definitely love yourself. And I feel like if you can't love yourself, and you can't ever love other people. So you have to genuinely, do whatever it is whatever it helps you to live in love. So for me, it's like, I got to start my day with, like, prayer and gratitude and meditation, and I got to get a workout in 15, 20 minutes, because just to, like, raise my vibrations. And it's like, you feel like when you're working out sometimes, like, and you're like conquering different levels, right? And you're like pushing yourself, and whether you're playing worship music or doing it or whatever it is, like, I'm the person that will go from gospel to a Latino trap really quick, or some rap music. I grew up in Florida, right? So again, it's a diversity for sure. But yeah, man, that's definitely the foundation. Like, love is so important for sure.
That you dropped so many bars, Pam. We're only 15 minutes in, and you are preaching already. Wow, wow, wow. I love what you said about pain. Pain changes you, but you can also use your pain towards your purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important. Learning how to love and understanding that not everyone grew up on love too, and sometimes how they love is not exactly how you love, and you think it's not love, but that's just the capacity of love that they know. And it's up to us for the ones that did grow up on love and are emulating the true source of love. It will help other people. This is what love looks like. Love makes the world go around. And honestly, this world needs more people like Pam who are so strong on love and wants to share that love with everybody. And your faith and relationship with God, you said, has been your foundation. So how would you say that foundation view just make I should say shapes your view on life?
Man, I mean, it really I can't even if we just talk about that, I'm doing my best right now to answer it as short as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it allows me to have a fresh perspective every day. It allows me to have a fresh perspective at every moment of difficulty, at every moment that I'm presented with an obstacle that I've never been here before, because being grounded in that allows me to always know God is faithful. And no matter what, God is good. And no matter what, God is good. He loves you unconditionally, loves you so much, sent his only son for the forgiveness of our sins to die on a cross for us. So it's having that, it's a sense of, I'm enamored with it in the way that it's man, it's the one thing that makes sense in a senseless world. You know what I mean? It's the one thing that it really, if nothing else, makes sense. This makes sense. I definitely believe that we are spiritual beings, living a human experience, not human beings living a spiritual experience. And it's really shaped me, and it allows me to persist and persevere every single day, because there are moments, I'm not going to lie to you, that I'm like, all right, I'm just going to throw it all in. What do you want me to do? Right. But just knowing, having that certainty that he's always with us, having that certainty that, there's something deeper. And as great as you think you are, as much potential as you think you have, all this greatness that people see in you, all of these great things that you want to achieve, all of these dreams, all of these visions, it's because he put that in you. So it's knowing that if he gave me a vision, he's going to bring it to fruition. I have to be obedient. I have to work hard. I have to not give up, right? But more so surrender to him. And it allows me to every day being able to start with a fresh perspective, being able to be like, you know what, you got it. All right, cool. I'm going to surrender. Okay, I tried it this way. And it's every day a journey. It's every day a battle. It's every day me getting closer and doing better, because I'm like, okay, how can I do better than I did yesterday? And not for what man sees, or not for what my flesh wants, but for how the spirit could lead me for your kingdom. What do you want me to do as to serve you? Because I understand, ultimately, that's really what makes sense in this senseless world. We live in a world that you see humans, but you hardly see humanity. And if we focus on the news, and focus, if it bleeds, it leads, right? If we focus on all of the atrocities that we're living, a pandemic, and so many things that just don't make sense, it's we would all be depressed or borderline crazy. But having that strong faith and having that strong belief system, it really what allows me to choose joy every single day. It allows me to just be able to have a smile in my face, because I'm I know I'm his light here. I'm a vessel, I'm interceding for him in this world. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you that sometimes I don't feel broken, but I know I'm whole in him. And I know,
come on, you got the bars, Pam.
Make me better, right? But yeah, I could talk to you all day about that, because he's a deliverer, a redeemer, a restorer, a healer, a miracle worker. And I've just seen so many things happen, and I'm living right now in so many things that, overcoming different obstacles that I'm they're challenging and things that I've never ever imagined would be going on like right now at this moment that I'm like, what you want from me? Oh, okay, I don't understand. I don't have the answers. Like I was the girl that graduated school magna cum laude. I've been the smart one all this time, but for some things you're like, I can't find it in the book if it's not the good book. I can't find it in a podcast, no matter how great. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So just knowing like he's the center, and knowing that the best is yet to come. It gives me such a fresh perspective, and it gives me so much hope, and it gives me so much, just excitement for knowing like where we're going, and knowing that every day is a blessing and every minute is a miracle in the making, for sure.
Wow. VIP Malaysia was in the chat. She said, you had to be a rapper in your past life, the way you were dropping these bars. And it was funny because I'm sitting here like, man, I was going to say a comment like that after, but Malaysia just took it right out my mouth. MC Pam. MC Pam. Wow. You said a lot of truth, a lot of amazing things that will just, whoever's listening to this, I know that they're going to be blessed, and it just added so much value to all our listeners here. So thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. That almost basically left me speechless right there. So I know earlier when you were talking about your career, you said you were a banker. You went from personal banking to business banking to then commercial banking, and it was a great career for you. Now, why did you leave that career, that 9 to 5, to then get into entrepreneurship?
Fulfillment. And also, so I was the girl that I was the one that was the most successful one, or so I thought, because like you're only successful compared to who you're comparing yourself to, right? So I was like comparing myself to my girls that, no disrespect to them, I love them to death. They're still my sisters forever. We're still friends to this day, but I'm comparing myself to like the people that were like here, right? And that I'm like, I'm living on a condo on the beach, like everything is great, driving the car that I want. We were talking about that. I love my Nissan Maxima, right? And I was just not fulfilled, and I wasn't fulfilled. And during that same time that I was kind of like searching, I guess, for fulfillment, I was asking, like, my mom had lost her job during that time, and she ended up having to move in with me. And at that time, my boyfriend was living with me, and his twin brother got kicked out of his house, so he was staying with us. And we were all living in my 1-bedroom, 1.5 condo. And then my grandma decides to visit during that time too. And my little brother was living with us, and the cat and the dog and the other cat. So it was a lot going on in my life, all at the same time. And I was just like, one day I had came home, and I remember I went to surprise my mom. Like, my thing is, like, I always give her roses like every week, and that's just like a tradition that I do because I know she loves roses. And I always tell her, like, I give you a rose because you symbolize to me the softness, the petals of it. I never want you to let the world turn you into thorns of the roses. But I just to always remind her that. And I remember going home to bring her these roses, and she was bawling, crying, like, like when you hear somebody like hollering, and I'm like, and I'm here thinking like, oh man, my neighbors, I don't know what's going on with them. Like, that girl better leave that boy. You got her crying like that. Girl, like, because I did not think that was coming from my house. Not at all. I'm like, I did not think that whatsoever, Shani. So I was like, and when I walked in at that, and I just had a knot in my throat. And I remember being like, oh, and at that time I had like a work. It was a BlackBerry, and I had my personal phone was Galaxy. So I'm like, oh, my phone's ringing. I gotta go to the office thing. But it was because I had such a knot in my throat that I didn't want to cry in front of her, and I had to just get out. And I remember just sitting in my car for like an hour, and I was just like bawling, crying. And I'm like, here I am not feeling fulfilled with everything that I have going on with, I'm making 6 figures at my job. Like, I'm the #1 producer, and I said, and the most important person in my life, like, is going through such a tough time that I cannot take her out of. And I'm like, God, like, I know you can only do it. And I said, but at first, I'm not going to lie to you. When my mom lost her job, I was like, you'll be able to bounce back in no time. Like, she had already done a career switch because she didn't want to practice law. She was doing property management. And, I saw her work for a company for nearly 20 years. And then it all just like for out of nowhere. And then I was like, look, just go back into your career. It will be easy for you. Like, you'll bounce back. And again, being Latina, your parents sometimes tend to exaggerate. So I was like, girl, you'll be great. Don't worry about it. But when I saw that happen, it was like, oh no, like this can't be it. And I was just at a place that I was, my God, like, whatever you send me, I'm going to be open. I'm going to be obedient, right? I'm going to just listen. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how difficult it gets. I am going to just listen and be obedient and be open. So send me something that not only we can take her out of this situation, but that it brings us both fulfillment, and that it brings us, it brings us happiness as a family, that we can just enjoy life more together. And during that time too, like my mom's stress level had started taking a toll on her health. And, it was scary too, to be like, I couldn't even fathom the thought that, oh my God forbid something happens to her, and you start thinking like about all these things, right? Because that's like, your mind is so powerful. And it's like, as much as you could use to think about something great, you also could use it to like destroy you in a sense too, because you're thinking about all the what can go wrong. And you're like, man, how about if this happens and I'm not going to be able to do this with her, and I'm going to be able to do that, and I can't, like, God, like, send me something. And, a friend of mine introduced network marketing to me, and I was like, I don't know, right? And I was just like, and then it was like, you felt, how you have like the good person and the bad person, right? Talking to you.
Like that, yeah.
Angel and the devil talking to me. And it was like, I felt like a nudge that was like, you said you was going to be obedient, didn't you? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give it a shot. And I was the girl, I'm not going to lie to you, I dogged network marketing. I dogged it because that was when I was growing up. I always used to see my mom like, selling filters or Mary Kay or Avon. And I was like, man, that stuff don't work for people like us. Like, I don't see none of us winning in that. Like, and at the same time, I was like, because I saw the network marketing all the time. I was in network marketing since I was like 15. And at this point, when I saw our lifestyle club, I was like about 20. I was 28. I had just turned 28. And I was like, I've done over a dozen multi-level marketings, right? I done Mary Kay to Amway to Herbalife to Monavie to Solavie to Dancing, you name it. I've done over a dozen. And I was like, nah. I was like, this cooking? No way. And I got into entrepreneurship, and I was just like, you know what? I literally threw my friend the credit card halfway through. I was like, look, I'm just in. It has nothing to do with what you're showing me. It just has to do who's telling me I got to do this, right? Because I was like,
right.
You better be obedient. You was just praying 2 days ago, because literally it was like 2 days ago. I was like, better be obedient. I was just like, all right, God, I'm gonna listen. Like, I don't know, I don't really know about this, but I'm gonna just listen to you. And I got into entrepreneurship. As much money as I was making in corporate America, I was not fulfilled at all. I was just so like unfulfilled, and I was just miserable. And I remember just picking fights with my ex-boyfriend at the time, like, you don't do this and you don't do that, and da, 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 and just wanting so much more validation from him, because I was so unhappy of where I was at. You know what I'm saying? I was so just miserable that I was like making something out of nothing, right? Or just looking for problems where probably there wasn't really any. But I just felt like I needed validation from him, or I felt like I needed, some type of validation from people. And I just got to a realization that I'm like, I'm making all this money. I'm living on the condo on the beach. My view is definitely, God bless you, it's definitely the beach. And I'm just like, but you're not happy because you're not fulfilled. And at that moment, I was just like, maybe I should take this entrepreneurship thing serious. And that's how I got into entrepreneurship. Long story short.
Wow. That's a really interesting story, an inspiring story, because it's something that you prayed for, and literally 2 days later, bada bing, bada boom. Look at what an opportunity was handed to you right there. Now, that's amazing. And a lot of people would be scared to leave that sense of security at their 9 to 5, making 6 figures, to now go into entrepreneurship and just changing the course of your life. But like you said, fulfillment, you weren't fulfilled. And I think a lot of times we see that in Hollywood. These celebrities have all this money, the money that a lot of us wish we were making or were working towards making, and then they commit suicide or they're still miserable. And then, and the thing is, money does not create the happiness.
No.
It does not create the happiness. So when we do what we love, and we're living in our purpose, that's
Yeah.
that's where that true happiness comes in, and you're definitely a living example with that. So I'm so happy that you took that risk and you stepped out in faith. A lot of people are living in fear rather than living in faith, and you're living testimony that leave that fear alone. Go step out in faith and just watch how your life will just change drastically for the better. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, when it comes to entrepreneurship, what has been some of the most rewarding aspects of entrepreneurship in your experience? And then we're going to get more into the travel and what it is that you're doing with your travel business and all your travel experiences.
I'm not even going to give you a cheap answer like saying money, because that's such a cheap answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you it's been the impact in people's lives. Like I was telling you earlier, like, sometimes like you don't even know who you're impacting, because I'm not here to impress you. I'm here more so to make an impact upon you, impress upon you. And when you really like just being somewhere, like I'll give you an example. I was having lunch one day with one of my best friends, Pilar, and who I met through our lifestyle club. And I was having lunch with her, and we were like at one of our national personal development events and seminars, and we were having lunch. We kind of like ducked off away from everybody, trying to like just have a moment, and because we hadn't seen each other in some time, and people walked in, and this girl literally just started crying, and crying, and I'm like, start crying, I'm getting emotional even thinking about it. And I was like, she's like, you don't know how much you just changed my life, like, and I was just like, me? Like how? Like, and she shared her story, and I'm not going to get into too many details, but it's really has been the most rewarding is having the impact in people's lives that you don't even know that you're impacting. Having the impact in people's lives that they were at the brink of probably one of the toughest times in their life, and you were able to be an inspiration to them, and again, by his grace only. And that to me, serving other people has definitely been one of the biggest things that it's been one of the most fulfilling things ever, because it's one of those things that you never knew you needed it until you get it, right? And you're like, where have you been all my life? But I definitely think that that's been one of the most rewarding things, and also creating memories with the people you love. Like I remember, and I know I'm probably getting a little ahead of myself, so you could stop me, but I've been like bothering my mom, like, I'm going to Bali, come with me. I'm going to Morocco, come with me. I'm going to Costa Rica, come with me. I'm going to here, come with me. And she's like, nope. I don't want to go to none of these places. And I'm like, why not? But she wanted to go to Punta Cana. And when my mom moved to the States, again, she grew up in the capital of the Dominican Republic, which is Santo Domingo. And Punta Cana was not a developed tourist area as it is today. But being Dominican, she keeps hearing all of her friends are going, and she sees all this. She's like, I want to go there. That's where I want to go. I was just like, okay. So I finally took her on one of the trips of her dreams, literally. And just to like be in that moment, to really see the smile on her face, it was like priceless. Like I always thought that I'm going to make her the happiest by making millions of dollars and, putting her in a big mansion, which I'm still going to do all of that stuff, right?
Oh, I believe you.
But like the moment that you get with the people you love, to be able to live in that moment and really see them rejoicing in it, it's an inexplicable feeling. Like it's something you get to live so that you can feel it, because I could tell you all day long how that felt. But I'm just like, wow, praise God, man. Definitely some of the most rewarding moments as an entrepreneur, for sure.
Wow, that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now you're talking about your travel business, how you're helping people, you're in positive impacting people, you're having all these amazing, rewarding experiences. So tell us a little bit about your travel business. Exactly, like what is it that your travel business is? What are you doing in the travel industry?
Okay, so I am a real travelpreneur in the network marketing space. We're able to share our experiences with people and via a membership allow people wholesale travel prices, but out of this world experiences because
Mm,
really through our lifestyle club, it's beyond a travel club, it's beyond a vacation club, it's an experience that you've never going to experience, and you're part of a culture, you're part of a community that literally embodies fun, freedom, and fulfillment. And it's funny because it's like that's one of the pillars of it, that is like fun, freedom, and fulfillment. And here I was looking for fulfillment, right? That and
mm-hmm.
like so it just all made sense. And where via our membership people get to not only travel the world and create memories with the people they love, but meet people from all over the world also. And a huge aspect of it is philanthropy, which I love, like giving backs and building schools around the world, so impacting children and families lives locally and around the globe because of this lifestyle club is a true blessing. And in the network marketing aspect of it, for sharing the membership, you not only are able to earn weekly commissions, right? You're able to also build a residual income. And that residual income, it's transferable and willable for generations to come. But it's super cool because, through this lifestyle club and this business, we've been able to create memories, but impact people's lives. And we still have so much more to do, right? So much more to do, so many more places to go. But being able to just serve in this capacity, it's special. It's truly special because I tell people all the time, like a business that only makes money is a cheap business, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's all it's doing, it ain't no good. You're gonna get tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
But being a part of such a unique community, it really allows you to be in places with people you've never even met, that you automatically feel a synergy. You automatically feel like a camaraderie that you can't explain, right? And again, this girl that came from the corporate world, that I couldn't share my best practices with a coworker of mine because my boss was like, "We can't help that district." It was like, I need
Mm,
to compete. Like, I'm a competitor, don't get me wrong, but I'm not trying to compete with my friend. Like, I want to help my friend rise. You know what I'm saying? So it's a platform that allows us to do that. It is a platform that not only allows you to bless the people you know, but bless the people that you haven't even met genuinely, because I can have a conversation with anybody and everybody wants to live life more.
that's
Everybody
right.
wants to not only make a little bit of money, but make a lot of money and be able to change their family's financial blueprint. And we live in a world where multiple streams is no longer a luxury. It's definitely a necessity.
That's
And
right.
it's like, man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be present here. For sure. So grateful for that. So I hope I answered your question.
You definitely did. And it seems like you have an amazing life-changing business right in your hands that you also get to share with others so they can join you on this amazing journey to just literally
Yeah.
live life in true fun, freedom, and fulfillment. That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. You have a life-changing business right there. Now, when it comes to travel, how has travel impacted your life? And then we're going to get into some amazing travel stories. I'm super excited. So yeah, how has travel impacted your
Oh my
life?
God. So travel is to live. Like, I'm the girl that's, again, from New York City. Like, every year when we were going to the Dominican Republic, like, I remember my mom saving up from like the year before, right?
Mhm.
And she used to like save up because it wasn't even for where we're staying. Like, whenever we went to the DR, my grandma has a huge house in Dominican Republic. We would stay at my grandma's house, my aunt's house, and if it was room on the floor, it was literally room for more. Like,
Mhm.
legit, okay? And we never lacked anything. Like I was telling you, it was like always all love. Family is like just, you come, I tell you, you got a house in DR whenever you want. You got that. Like, my grandma's gonna come and she's gonna feed you forever, right? Like, unlimited abundance of everything. But um, being able to travel has humbled me. because it's giving me so many different perspectives of culture. It allows you to, like I used to hear all the time, like, the world is a book. And if you don't travel, you only stay on one page. I'm like, okay. And I was the girl that I hated getting on an airplane. Like, my palms would get sweaty. I was like, and when we moved to South Florida, I was like, oh, cool. We get to go on cruises. We don't got to really do the flight thing. Like, it was only like one flight a year, and it was going to the Dominican Republic. And I going to Puerto Rico because I have an uncle that lives there. And that was really what it was. But this has broadened my horizons because it's allowed me to just love people more, love so many different cultures. I'm a foodie. Okay, I work out just so that I can eat what I want.
I can relate.
It's expanded my palate completely. Just made me so much more open-minded. It's made me appreciate so many different cultures, and it's humbled me because it has made me more grateful to live in America. It's made me more grateful to be positioned where we're at, if that makes any sense, But travel has really changed me, man. And it's like, literally, you're like this. I need more of it. Like, you just want more, right? And yeah, it's definitely been life altering. And like you said earlier, something that the coolest part about this is that I get to share with everybody. Like, when I was in corporate, like, I couldn't refer you if you had my last name. You know what I mean? So it's been a shift for sure in every area of my life, being a part of our lifestyle club.
That is awesome. Travel is definitely a life-changing experience. And I know when you start going on trips and you're having these experiences, you're like an addict. It's like, all right, I'm back from this trip. When's the next one? I'm ready for the next one. And then when you come back from that trip, all right, where can I go next? It's a great addiction. We have some bad addictions, but travel is an amazing, amazing addiction that every person needs to have. Now, I know you've been all over the world. So give us a rundown of your travel resume. That's what I like to call it. Where are all the places you've been, both domestic and international. Please make us jealous. Make us jealous right now.
Oh my God. Okay, so domestically, I mean, I'm not going to count New York because, like, New York is like, I live in Miami. It's like going to Fort Lauderdale for me. And, like, I've been to New York dozens of times. I've been to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've been to Omaha, Nebraska. I've been to South Dakota, North Dakota, Los Angeles, California, Hawaii. Been to Maui, like, so many different places, Colorado, Washington, the state, Washington, D.C., North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, the Midwest. Like, I can go on and on and on. The islands, I love the beach. I've been to the Bahamas a bunch of times. Been to Puerto Rico a bunch of times, Dominican Republic, the Virgin Islands, St. Lucia, been able to go to Costa Rica, been blessed to go to Colombia, Mexico a bunch of times, Belize, Paris, France, Spain, Morocco, Bali, Greece, London. I mean, I probably missed a few places, but that's definitely the majority of our travel resume. Jamaica. Oh my God.
Hey, that's where my family's from.
All over. It's just like thinking, like, you maybe like it's like, I was like, yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. Like, amazing. It's really amazing, breathtakingly beautiful places, man, that really just have an impact on you forever, for sure.
Wow. I know I'm not the only one that's super excited to hear about some of these amazing travel experiences. So I want to pick a few places that you mentioned and just take us on a virtual tour right now, Pam. Yeah. Tell us about some basically your trip there. Some amazing places that you went to, some cool stories that you may have, any interesting experiences, fun experiences, learning experience. So you guys ready for this virtual tour? VIPs, are you guys ready? Sorry about that. John, edit that cough out, please. Edit that cough out. All right, so VIPs, are you guys ready for Pam to take us on a virtual vacation right now? So first stop, let's go to Colombia. Tell us about your trip to Colombia.
Oh my gosh. So Colombia, I went to Cartagena, Colombia, which is like, I love seafood. I love Chinese, Japanese, like, I love everything Asian food and seafood. Like, I can live off of that all day long. We went to Cartagena, Colombia, staying at the Hilton. We had the most beautiful welcome reception, and it was just beautiful because people are just so loving and excited, and it was just the culture. And I'm Dominican. Colombians have a beautiful accent. They probably think we have an accent, but they have such a beautiful way that they speak Spanish, and it was just such beautiful to watch. We went on the different like catamaran boat rides on the beach. We were able to just lounge out. We did exploring of the city, of food, of course. And it was so cool because Will Smith be in Cartagena, Colombia during that time. And he was like literally like not even 1,000 feet from where we were at. And we noticed after, so we heard like a lot of noise going on. And we're like, what's going on over there? But there were so many people that I'm like the type of girl, like before, if I used to see a crowd of people, I used to run to it. Now, if I see a crowd of people, I'm running from it, right? Like, I'm like, I'm not trying to see that crowd of people. But looking back at it, I definitely should have gone, right? Oh, definitely. But I love Will Smith. I'm such a Will Smith fan. But we saw like him after, and we were like, oh my God, I can't believe he was here. So that was a really cool story. But just enjoying the food there was absolutely amazing. The culture, the history behind. We went to so many different like sightseeing there in Colombia. It was breathtakingly beautiful. Just learning so much about the history, stuff that they don't teach us in school. And I'm like, why do you teach me this? I have a master's. Like, why? Right? But it's traveling because you're literally speechless, and then you're turned into a storyteller, right? Like you are, and you're just like breathtaking away, and you're just like, in awe of the beauty of God, like, wow. And then we went to Cali, Colombia. And Cali, Colombia was super cool. Being at one of the like the crosses, it's like they have like, it's like the Del Cristo Redentor, which is like the Christ the Redeemer cross. Like one of the most breathtaking views. Like, I don't know if you've ever been like high up on a mountain and you could see like the entire city. Right? You can see the entire city, and you can see, you know, the beaches, and you can see people, and it was just so breathtakingly beautiful, that view. And it was funny because we were on our way, and we were like in an Uber over there, and this was when they were just starting like Ubers in Colombia. And I was with some of my girlfriends, Pilar and Arian and Simone, and we were traveling up, and the guy's car breaks down, okay? It breaks down. And mind you, before we even are going up this hill to go to this next tourist site, he's like, are you sure you want to go up there? It's not recommended for people that are not natives. And we're like, we're good. Yeah, come on. Until the car broke down, and we're like standing on the top of the hill. And I'm like, let's take pictures, right? Because we got some good views right now. Like, while he fixes whatever's going on with the car, and he's like, no, don't take out the cell phones. I don't want to die while I'm fixing the car. Like, we're like, holy crap. Like, where are we right now? It was so fun. Like, it's not fun that we were in that type of situation.
Right.
It was fun to really be like, okay, like, we didn't know what hit us, kind of, right? And we saw like so many people like speeding by in bikes, and it was one of those moments that you were like, your adrenaline was rushing, and you were just excited, so you were doing your best to like enjoy the moment, but at the same time you were a little bit scared because you're like, I don't know where I'm from right now. But that was one of those cool stories in Colombia. I also got to meet a lot of the people that are part of our lifestyle club, because that was like when we first started launching in Colombia. And like, again, being in the States, you do things different, right? And then when you go to you go across international waters, you're like, wow, like you see a whole different level of hunger. You know what I mean? And you appreciate where you're at and what you got your hands on a lot more when you see that people sometimes, you know, and it humbled me too, because being at different levels, you always want to keep rising. You always want to keep going to the next level, right? And then when you see people that aren't even, you know, at the same level as you, but they're so hungry and they're so happy because of where they're at, and the dollar to peso ratio in Colombia is so different. And you see so many people that are set free because of what you're a part of, and that sometimes you take for granted because you're like, I could do it tomorrow. It humbles you, and it makes you hungry at the same time, and it just makes you so grateful, I feel like. And man, Colombia was definitely a great experience. The marketplace, the shopping, like one of my favorite bags, like I love pink. I think it's like a Libra thing.
Hey, that's my favorite color. So it has to be a Libra thing. Now I know VIP Nelson is a Libra too. Nelson, is your favorite color pink as well?
And I was like, gosh, like one of my favorite bags was handmade there in Colombia. It was so, so beautiful, different colors. And they're like, this is one of one. Like it was specifically made. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like I valued it so much, you know, but the creativity and the artistry is just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. That was definitely one of my best trips for sure.
That sounds like a really fun trip. And it's so interesting how travel changes experiences for us, because you said the car broke down and you guys want to take pictures. It was just adrenaline. Imagine our car breaking down where we are now in Florida or even here in New York. We're stressed out. We're like, oh, I can't believe this happened. Oh my gosh, who am I going to call? Let the car break down in Colombia. Like, oh, we got car broke down. Yeah, let's go take our pictures, get the angles right. Let's look at the views. Let's wave at the locals. So it's just so interesting how travel just changes experiences with those just little things right there. So we did Colombia, and I actually was visualizing everything that you said. So you really took us on that virtual tour. I'm ready for the next stop. The next stop now is Costa Rica. Tell us about your trip to Costa Rica.
Pura vida. That's what they say in Costa Rica. Everything is pura vida, which means life. Like they want you to have the best life. It's like when we say like, oh yeah, like that's what they mean. Like Costa Rica was amazingly beautiful. The food was phenomenal. It was definitely one of the best trips. We climbed up a mountain, and it was a volcano. I thought it was a mountain that we're going on a hike. And it's funny because imagine again going through a hike, and these are uncharted territory. You know what I'm saying? Like you unfamiliar territory. You're just kind of like, ah. And I see them, our guide, because one of the cool things about our club is that, you know, you get hosts on some of your trips. Then
nice.
It's like, hey, when you're coming here, we're gonna go ahead. You need a stick. And I'm like, I'm not gonna get tired. Like, you know, are you telling me I'm out of shape or something? Right? The ego was kicking in, right? And I was like, I'm not gonna get tired, girl. Halfway up the little hill, I was like, I need a stick.
Where's the stick?
The stick.
That's the stick.
That's the stick. And it's funny because after we realized that El Volcano Arenal was where Will Smith filmed part of the movie After Earth, something like that. Was the After Earth? Yeah, I think it was that. That was the name of it was called. It was the movie that he did with his son, and it was that's what is it. That's what, and it's funny because I'm in my little brother's room and I just look at a poster and he loves that movie. But yeah, so they filmed that movie there. That was a really cool experience. We did a hike and it was like over 20 of us, and like we never really experienced something like that before. And if a lot of people don't know this, so I'm like saying this and now I'm probably not going to hear the end of it. I hate heights. I hate heights. And I'm not the girl, like, even though I, you know, was a little military brat and I had to do stuff that I didn't like to do. It was like, I had to do it because I needed to pass, right? But I remember going on my first dream trip with a lot of my friends, and they were my peers, and I had to rappel and I had a zip line, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm good. And it was funny because, you know, for three years later, your whole perspective changes when you're with people that, you know, look up to you and you're like their big sister. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it with you guys, of course. And as I'm going up this waterfall that we're about to rappel from, I'm like sweating. I'm like sweating everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, like I really got to do this. I'm going to do this. And then one of my friends was scared and I was like, I got to do it. I got to show her it's okay. I got to show her it's okay. So I definitely overcame a fear. I rappelled off of like a huge tower. And like, it was funny because some of my friends were sick and they didn't get to make the trip. They're like, you did that? Are you? No, you didn't. We know you don't even do that stuff. You lie. I'm like, I got pictures to prove it and a video.
Right.
But it was so pretty being able to like rappel off of that tower into like a waterfall. It was beautiful. We went to what's called the Tabacon Hot Springs, which is like a pool. Imagine this pool, but it's naturally heated by the volcano. by the lava from the
That's dope.
yeah, it was so beautiful. And I experienced that in Costa Rica. Again, some of the most breathtakingly views ever that I've been able to experience, the amazing food, the culture. We also got to go to a coffee factory where we got to see how they made coffee. And I am a coffee drinker. I love cafe. Like I need that, like I need my prayer in the morning.
Now,
So
Pam, don't judge me. I've never had coffee before. Don't judge me.
that's gonna change when you come to my house. That's gonna change. We're gonna have you have to have coffee. I'm gonna make you some Dominican coffee. You're gonna be hooked forever. Okay.
Okay,
But,
right.
but yeah, I was like, man, it was so beautiful to just kind of like see the experience. And I'll show you something too. Like, I didn't feel good for like a moment. And somebody that worked there told her boss, and they made me a tea, and I magically felt better. Right. And I'm just
Wow.
like, that it was such a love, but it was so genuine. It was so authentic that I was just like, oh my God, like it was so sweet. Like, girl, please, you in America and you ask somebody to give you something, they'd be like you're like you said, you pulled over on the side of the road and you're like, you better call AAA because not too many people are gonna stop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was just to see the genuine love that you get, man. Costa Rica was definitely one of my favorite experiences ever. One of the best views, man. We did so many things. I overcame fear. I had so many amazing experiences with people. Loved so much of their food too. Pura vida, man. It's funny because I still talk to one of our tour guide's friend that was like a native there, Andres. We follow each other on social media, but yeah, it was definitely a great experience. Costa Rica, pura vida, definitely a must.
Wow, you're making me want to go to Costa Rica right now. Right now. And actually, I had one of those experiences where you overcame fear of heights because I'm not a height person at all. So when I went to Thailand, I actually went what's it called, parasailing. You have to go all the way up in the air and you're like basically flying like a bird or a plane over the ocean. I was terrified leading up to that moment, and all my friends were like, no, go, look, watch, we're gonna go before you. You're gonna see that we're gonna go up, we're gonna land safely, and then you're gonna do it. Like, just do it. You're in Thailand, you have to do something so memorable. Conquer your fear. Let's go. And I'm sweating and I'm like, have to take a deep breath, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening to me right now? But I did it. And
Yes.
it felt so good. It felt so liberating. And when I landed, I was like, I'm alive. I'm alive. I did it. And I'm telling my friends and family back home, and they're like, you, Shani, you went up in the flying across the ocean. I'm like, yes. I'm like, here's the pictures and videos. And they're like, wow. I'm like, that's one of the beauties of traveling. Helps you step out of your comfort zone, your fear, and just have great life experiences. So I could definitely resonate with your experience there in Costa Rica with that.
Yes.
Now we're going to Greece. Ooh, tell us about Greece.
Oh my gosh. So we were going on a dream trip to Santorini, and I landed in Athens. And like sometimes like I pay attention to stuff, sometimes I don't as much as I should. So I got like the dates wrong, and I end up being in Athens by myself for the first night, right? So here I am. I used our lifestyle club. So I'm like, okay, well, let me like just book a quick hotel, whatever. But I'm like, who's gonna stay here at the hotel? But you need pictures. So again, I immediately got love from the people there. They took some of my pictures while I was there at the hotel by myself, which was super cool. And then I got in an Uber, and everybody was freaking out. Like, everybody was like, I can't believe you're going to take an Uber. You're in Athens by yourself. Are you crazy? And I'm just like, God got me. I'm good. I'm definitely going to go experience. Oh my goodness. First of all, I love wine. I want to say I had 3 to 4 glasses of wine and a gyro that was so delicious, girl, that I was like, so good, for less than $10. Okay.
4 glasses of wine and a gyro
for less than $10. I hope I still have a copy of the receipt somewhere. I was like, it was so good. I was like, we got to come back to Athens. They're like, yeah, we're coming back to Athens later. I was like, okay. It was so good. Then we went to Santorini. So Santorini is a really small island. The entire island is like 200 miles or something like that. Wow. And Went with a bunch of our friends. Pilar was on that trip. Marco was on that trip. Jay Peso was on that trip. His wife, Hazel. Aaron's, a bunch of us were on that trip. And it was one of the first trips that we really got to like go on together. And it was funny because so they pick us up from our lifestyle club. We had like a private pickup, which was super cool. They picked us up from the airport, and I was like, right. I was like, yes, I woke up like this. It was super cool. And they took us to the hotel. And when I got to this hotel, it was like an oasis. It was like paradise. I was like, I don't even want to leave the hotel. And from the back of the hotel, you see the entire island. You see nothing but water and landscape, and it was such beautiful, breathtaking view, Shani, that you're like, oh my gosh, you want to be there, right? So then we experienced like, I don't know if you've ever experienced my big fat Greek wedding. Have you watched a movie?
Yeah, a while ago. Mm-hmm.
So I watched like when I was a kid, but I experienced that. And they took like a real life Greek wedding, and it was like a play, but they make the audience a part of like the bridal party of like the guests. And they're like breaking plates and dancing and oppa, and it was such a fun time. It was so amazing. You're like, yo, I got, like, I tell you already, you have to go there. We had really a lot of fun. This bar was like called Two Brothers. That was like a great time there too. Every night we ate like authentic chicken gyros. It was so good, from like literally like a little hole in the wall, but it was such great food. My friends are probably still mad at me to this day because we rented ATVs to go around the entire island. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how I got lost. I was just doing my own thing somehow. And I like, you know, they're like, don't take your feet off of the ATV. But here I am, like, you have like, I'm not gonna blame it that I'm Dominican, but we have something in DRs called like pasolas, which is like scooters. So you're used to like starting it. That's not what you do to an ATV. So here, my dumb self, about to lose my foot. I literally cut my foot while I was ATV.
Wow.
It was so much fun though. We did Red Sea. It was so like red sand, black, beautiful. Like Santorini, Greece was definitely breathtaking. And when we went to Athens, I love history. Like, I love history. We actually visited the Olympic Stadium, like ever Olympics was held.
Fire. What?
And not only did we get to go like on the outside, we actually went through the tunnel, and it was like an energy that you felt when you walked through there. Like, you're like, yo, winners have been here. Like, you knew champions were in these hallways. Like, you felt such a light, such a energy that you can't even explain. Seeing the Temple of Zeus, seeing so many things like in Greece that was just so amazing. Like, I love history, and when you're there, it really doesn't know justice. But history books doing no justice. You're actually there experiencing it, and you're just like, this was a part of that? No way. Like, it was amazing. Greece was definitely one of those experiences that I'm like, that has to be on everybody's bucket list. Whether you love history, whether you love food, whether you love fun, whether you love views, whether you love the beach, like, it's going to give you that. Oh, and we also saw like, so I used to love back in the day, like Hercules and Xena. I know I'm telling my age, but you know, the Greek gods, and it was one of them, like the Poseidon, the sea of the god of the sea. So there was a beach called Poseidon Beach, and you literally were at the temple of Poseidon. So you see, you get to experience all of these things that you're just like, oh my God. Like, we spend more time in awe, I think, and I was like, oh my God. And definitely the best octopus that I've ever had in my life was in Greece. Like, it made me expand my horizon. The best wine for sure. It was so much fun. I got some handmade, like, I love shopping too. I got some like handmade pink leather bags there that to this day is like my favorite bags. One was like a duffel bag and one was like a little book bag, but it was like handmade leather, like there. Like, it was amazing. Greece is fun.
Wow,
was
it's
like,
funny. Well, when you said about the plates crashing, you throwing it down, that goes back to like, hey, we drop a plate here at home. We're like, oh gosh, I just dropped a plate. We're in Greece. We're like, opa, drop the plate. Hey, let's go, let's do it. It's just really so funny just hearing how all these things once you're traveling is just so much better. Now
yes,
we're gonna do one more stop before we move into our Q&A with our VIP. So VIPs, get ready, get ready, get ready for our private Q&A with Pam. Let's go to Bali. Take us to Bali.
first of all, Bali was such an amazing experience. So, it's one of those things that you're about to have a great experience when you get tested a few times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as I'm on my way there, when we had a stop in Qatar, which is one of the places that I told you about, and as we're stopping in Qatar, I see somebody with a sign with my name that says, Pamela Pacheco, we are waiting for you. And I'm like, we're not in Bali yet. Why is somebody waiting for me here? Come to find out that I boarded a flight from JFK. They let me on the plane by mistake. And Bali had changed their laws. So by the time I was getting there, they don't let you in the country if your passport is going to be expired in less than 6 months. And I was traveling in October because it was a birthday trip that I was doing, and my passport was expiring in February. So it was under 6 months. They're like, you can't come in the country if you don't have a passport for more. So I'm in Qatar, had to go to the American embassy, okay, to go get a passport. And I had
Wow.
to pay an extra fee to get it expedited, to get it the same day. Mind you, I'm like in Qatar taking an Uber, a whole different country, a language I did not speak, but everybody speaks love, right? Everybody
Right.
speaks great energy and smiles, and I'm just like smiling, like, hi. I had to go take passport pictures. That was like how my trip to Bali started. I had to talk about that. So as I'm waiting to get my passport, I'm like, I know Bali's gonna be an amazing trip. Like, I this. Like, there's no way. So now when we finally make it to Bali, they're actually waiting for us, with the sign picking us up. We're like excited. We stayed at a really cool hotel. It was like the Pullman, and it was like right in the center of downtown in Bali. Amazing experience. I had food like at a restaurant that was like a floating. It was like a floating table. So you literally
Nice.
eating and you see like fishes all around you. And like, again, I love seafood. The fish was so fresh. The food was so fresh. We went on an elephant expedition. I rode elephants. I got to feed them, got to bathe them. It was so pretty. And they don't treat them bad, because I was super like, they have to treat them good. Like, I'm gonna rate up to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they had like the best reviews. Thank God. Our Lifestyle Club like partners up with places that they know like our conscience of different things like that, which is super cool. We did
Definitely.
a waterfall hike, which was super pretty. This dress that I actually have on is from Bali, one of my favorite
Ah.
dresses. And it was funny because though we were on a tour, and one of the tours was like in a rice field. So I got to see like how rice was made. Again, I'm Latina. I love arroz. I love rice, right? That's actually
Me
one of
too.
the things I'm fasting on right now. It's like my 16th day not eating rice. So like,
I eat rice like every day. It's crazy.
yes,
So I can
yes,
definitely
yes.
resonate with that.
Yes, indeed. And we went like on a rice field and got to see how rice was made. And we got to have a lunch like at a restaurant that was like there, and we were overlooking like beautiful views. Then we got to climb a waterfall, and it was one of the tallest waterfall in the world, because we were there. Um, then and I'm just kind of like taking like really brief. The beaches were beautiful. Probably the best. I had a 2.5 hour massage, and I paid less than $50. Like, the best
What?
massage that I've ever had. I know people are gonna be mad. They're like, you didn't like the Dominican. I did, but listen, they was going in. Like, places that you didn't even know you had knots in. Okay, I was like, it was blown away. I absolutely loved it. I love that. Um, on the actual day of my birthday, I went into like this beach restaurant kind of vibe, and it was interesting because in this place, and I was just like, okay, because I wanted to like the best seafood place, and they're like, look, this is the best one on the island. You have to go here, and I was like, we'll see. So as you're walking in, it doesn't have it's not as pleasing, you know, it's not the most beautiful place in the world, and you're like, you walk in and it's a fish market, but it's because you pick the seafood that you're gonna eat, and they're gonna cook for you. So I'm picking lobster, shrimp, snapper, oysters, clams, everything that they cooked it fresh for you. We got to do like horseback riding, like on the beach. Like a mariachi was like singing for me on the beach as I'm watching like the sunset. It was so, so beautiful. And all of the food and that and the sights and the experiences and tours were, but one of the most humbling experiences that I've had traveling was in Bali. So as in one of our tours, we're walking, and I walk in like drenched in sweat. And that's where I went to go buy this dress. And as you walk in, it looks like it's just a store. And I see this lady, and she's carrying a baby, and the other baby is like tagging at her leg. And I'm like, oh, he's so cute. And he like crying. And she's like, friends and I pick up stuff. So I'm like the child, like my friends call me, baby. And I'm just carrying him, and he stopped, and she's like, he doesn't like anybody. And I was like, my birthday's in like, when's your birthday? I was like, she's like, kiss too.
Wow.
It's so beautiful. Oh my God, that was weird. Because I'm nosy, I see that he has like a massage place here too in this store, and in another place it was like a store, and in the back, the kitchen. She was literally like, she has of clothes, does hair and massages, and I'm like, where are the other people at work? Oh, it's just me. Sister, my cousin's not here today, so it's just, I'm like, that's here. She's like, yeah, like, it's hard. The life here is hard, and I'm like, wow. I was just blown away. She had told me she had applied for her visa to come to the United States times. How hardworking, and how hardworking she was. I was like, how? Oh my God! And it's not like when we go apply for a visa, no. Like for them to apply to a visa, that means they have to have an airline ticket bought every single time. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. So imagine the money that they're spending that they don't even have. And it just gave me such a sense of humility. And it also just gave me such a sense of like appreciation that I was just like, man, there's so many people that are fighting, and they're working 6-7 different trades, 6-7 different, jobs just to even get a fraction of the life that you live, or the life of where you're blessed to even be a part of a country that gives us so much freedom. And seeing for her kids and how much she was doing, it was crazy. And she liked the sandals that I had on. I just gave them to her because I just felt like I had to do something, which was probably nothing, but I just wanted to do something because she didn't know how she blessed me, right? That was definitely one of the best trips ever. Definitely recommend, if you have not been to Bali, go to Bali. Bali is amazing.
Yes, it is on my bucket list. I've had a lot of friends that went to Bali, and it just looks so beautiful. I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is going to be a great experience. But I'm thinking about my pictures. I'm like, oh, there's going to be some great pictures in
From
Bali.
The beaches to the food. Oh my God. Everything was so, so amazing. Indeed. So amazing.
Wow, you have some really great travel experiences. I don't know about you guys, but after hearing about all these awesome travel experiences, I'm ready to pack my bag, hop on that next flight to be on somebody's island right about now. And I have to bring Pam with me because it seems like Pam has all these great travel experiences, all these adventures. I need some of that. So we out to somewhere. I don't know where, but just somewhere.
Yes,
so
let's go.
Now, last question. Before we get into our private Q&A session with some of our awesome VIPs, here's the question. Closing question. Are you ready for the closing question? Are you ready?
Let's get this closing question. I hope the VIPs are ready. I think you guys are going to have like a few minutes to become a VIP, to get the answer. I don't even know what the question is, but I'm excited.
Okay. That's right. Here it is. What is the craziest thing you have ever done on one of your trips? Now, before you answer, I just want to thank everyone, every single last person who took the time out to check out this episode. If you want to hear more of Pam's answer and also be included in the next private Q&A with our guests for our next episode, just become a VIP with us. So if you're watching the recording of this, just go to the realtravelpreneurs.com/VIP and get your access granted, along with automatic entries into our trip giveaways and tons of awesome stuff. So that's the realtravelpreneurs.com/VIP. Now, I did mention automatic entries into our trip giveaways, and guess what? I have an announcement. VIPs, are you ready for this one? Because you guys don't even know about this. So, we're giving away our trip to Guatemala in February, but guess what? We just added another trip giveaway. The Real Travelpreneurs are heading to Egypt in March, and that trip will be our second trip giveaway. So once you become a VIP, you're gonna automatically be entered in to win that trip. Now, VIPs, get your questions ready for Pam. Send those questions in right now, and as she answers our closing questions. So I'll repeat the question.